It's 21-7, and you have the ball first and goal from the 7-yard line, under a minute left, with a chance to end the game, basically. A touchdown ends the game. 28-7. Nobody's coming back from that unless you have Tom Brady circa mid-2010s on your team. And they run, I think they ran, it was like a incomplete pass, then it was like a 1-yard handoff, and then it was like a 3-yard pass. And it was fourth and like maybe 2.5.
Always 2.5.
And Campbell went for the field goal. When all year in that situation, we've watched this guy like, go, go, go. We're going for the kill. We're going for the kill. We're aggressive. We're going to take chances. And he went for the field goal. And when I was watching it, I actually agreed. I was like, take
I
the
agreed
points.
also.
3
Exactly.
possession game. I like it.
Right.
This is smart. But where it goes askew is then in the second half when he gets super aggro aggressive again. And then you become the guy at the blackjack table that you're sitting next to who's like, wait, you didn't hit the 13 against the 2 the last time. You just hit it that time and you're just all over the place. Is there any rhyme or reason for how you're playing? No, I'm just feeling the cards, man. It's like, okay, well, there's no strategy here that you're sticking to. And that's how I felt about the line. I mean, 100 other things went wrong for them, but
Right.
what we could argue about that part forever. The unforgivable sin out of all of this was you get inside the 10 with, it's under 2 minutes left. You're down 10. It's third down. There's like maybe a minute 10, something like that left. And you have to throw the ball because if you don't get it, you kick a field goal. You have all 3 timeouts left. And they run the ball up the middle and get stuffed.
Yeah.
Terrible play. Then they call a timeout. And it's like, you've just lost. Nobody gets an onside kick anymore. We've seen it like twice all year. The game's now over. It doesn't even matter what happens. That was the dumbest thing I've seen all playoffs and one of the dumbest things I've seen all year. How do you explain that if you're Dan Campbell? How?
I don't think you can. I think in that situation, above everything, you have to say, I have to keep these timeouts. I must keep these timeouts because
I need all 3.
I need all 3. I'm probably not getting the onside kick. No one recovers onside kicks anymore. I don't know if they ever did, but it's like 4% or something. I forgot what they said this afternoon. You cannot, the only instance where you take a timeout is if he's sacked and you have a quarterback that's like kind of out of it. But even if he was sacked, I think they would kick the field goal at that point, right?
You could rush the field goal people on and they could kick it.
Exactly.
And there's still 35 seconds left, but now you have all 3 timeouts. You can kick off. You can try to stop them. And you at least can have a Hail Mary, which has a much better chance than an onside kick.
I would rather be down 7 with 3 timeouts than down, what were they down? 3 with 2 timeouts.
Yeah, I mean
it's a death sentence. You're right.
It's interesting because we watch this over and over again, and anybody who's been playing video games the last few years knows the same thing. We saw it in the first game, Baltimore. They need a stop to try to get the ball back, and the first down, it's like they get a penalty. It's first down from and 5, and the guy in the Ravens just jumps off sides intentionally and clocks the guy in the Niners because. Their goal was like, let's reset the first downs because we don't want to use timeouts on a first and 5. And it was actually smart. It's what you do in a video game. 15-yard penalty, the ref was pissed, but it did like reset it, and that was smart. And then you watch Dan Campbell, and it's like, once you're inside the 25, under 2 minutes with 3 timeouts, you have to throw the ball into the end zone. It doesn't, like, driving methodically down the field does nothing. You need a field goal and a touchdown. So take 3 cracks at the end zone, then kick the field goal. You'll get it back maybe with the 3 timeouts gone. And then all the other
funny,
stuff.
We're funny. We're leading with this, and I don't blame you. Well, first of all, you have to lead with the bad, right? We could never.
I'm so speechless by how stupid it was.
But everybody, Lions fans, I think included, would go after the field goals, the passed on field goals.
I want to go through that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's go backwards. So it's 21-7. They settle for the field goal. They take the 24-7 lead going into halftime. Niners come down to kick a field goal to start the third. 24-10, Lions have the ball. All they've been doing is driving. They're just getting yards. It feels like they're getting 8 to 12 yards to play. St. Brown can't be stopped. I think he had 5 third down catches. They lose the ball on downs. On a play Reynolds should have caught, but a play they also could have kicked the field goal to go back up 27-10, which they just did at the end of the half. Well, all right, you got a little aggressive. I would have personally taken the points. So the Niners get the ball, and they're still down 14, and Purdy looks like crap. And it just looks, oh, here we go. Purdy, the clock has struck midnight for this guy. And he wings it downfield, and he overthrows Ayuk, and the ball hits the Lions guy in the face.
Yeah.
And it bounces up in the air and Ayuk catches it. And all of a sudden it's 24-17.
To
and
be
it was
fair,
one of
it hit
those
him
plays.
in the helmet. If it hit him in the face, I could see like, oh, okay, maybe he's got an excuse. But it hit him in the helmet. Yeah.
I got to say, we're old enough now. We've been watching sports long enough that you have these moments where, and everybody's like, no, momentum doesn't matter. It's like, I've watched too many of these games. Momentum matters. We just watched a 50-yard pass, hit somebody in the helmet, bounce straight up in the air, and now the Niners are down 7, and the crowd is into it, and they're going nuts. And Gibbs immediately fumbles, and all of a sudden it's 24-24. It just didn't it feel to you like that was one of those moments?
Not only did it feel to me like that, but when people write on our timelines and everything tomorrow, like, you didn't give Purdy enough credit, I'm like, okay, I apologize. We probably should have. But also, if that ball's intercepted and it should have been down 24-10, do they win that game if the Lions? No, because you're right. They had the momentum. So, okay, Ayuk catches it, falls at the 5. They throw a flag. They pick up the flag, and then they score, on the next play or 2 plays later?
Yeah. Gibbs fumbles, Niners score 24-24. Lions now have the ball. Another big Josh Reynolds drop. I don't know if he was the gold medalist of murdering the Lions in this game, but he's definitely on the medal stand. They punt. Perfect punt. Guy booms it. It goes to the 1-yard line. Lions guy runs in, and instead of just tipping it back, he just runs in the end zone with
flying in, like he's launching himself towards a goalpost.
19-yard difference. Niners drive down. Now they're up 3, 27-24. Lions drive down. Here we go again. Now they have a chance. It's either a 48-yard field goal to tie the game. And we're under 10 minutes at this point. 48-yard field goal to tie the game. Or let's go for it on 4th and 3. You're not going to believe it. They don't get it. This one I had a real problem with because I didn't like how their offense looked in the second half. I thought the crowd was really into it. I didn't love how Goff looked. Their receivers weren't making plays. We hadn't seen St. Brown in an hour. And if your kicker can't make a 48-yard field goal in good conditions, it seemed like, why is he in the team? Don't just have your punter do kickoffs, right?
I'm with you. I don't know what happened there. Listen, I'm thinking about it, and we were on a text chain with House, and he's like, "Oh, he doesn't trust the kicker." It's like, well, first of all, I think he's glad. I think Dan Campbell's glad he doesn't have a great, like Adam Vinatieri-esque kicker. It allows
know
him
what to do with a good kicker.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it allows him to go for it more. It's like, hey, I got this excuse. But then you see the stat. It's like he's 78% from 40 to 49. It's like, all right, I take my chances on almost 80% out of 4 to 5 made from that. Of course.
Also, I don't like how I'm playing. And that's the part.
Get the momentum.
We do the analytics, which I think the analytics are important. I didn't like how they were playing. I didn't have confidence that they would have the right play. And I like the way the Niners are playing. The crowd was into it. I just feel like that stuff has to factor in. It can't just be blanket. Oh, here's the situation. It's going to be in or out. So anyway, they don't get it. Niners drive down. McCaffrey breaks this long run. Now the Niners are up 10. And this would have been the most improbable cover in how many playoffs? Right?
Crazy
They're
times.
7.5 point favorites all week. And now they're up 10. And then it leads to that last drive where they get the touchdown on 4th down, but it really doesn't matter. So the Lions cover. Congratulations.
Yeah. If I were to power rank what led to their demise, though, I know you want to put the field goal, the calls not passing on the points first. I put the drops up there. I always look to blame the players before the referees or the coaches. And they just, at halftime, inherited a herd of the Kadarius Tonys. They really did. Like, just every pass was either dropped.
The Gibbs fumble was terrible. Olsen pointed out how he probably ran the wrong way in the run and never had the ball, and that was a murder.
Drop after drop after drop. And even there was a great catch over the middle where it almost could have been picked off if they land differently. So I don't know. I think Lions fans are bummed at the receivers more than the coach at this point. That's the thing with like Campbell. He'll say something like, "Hey man, this is what we do. We're aggressive all the time." It's like, all right. It's like, I always wear shorts. Like, okay, but your wife is nominated for an Academy Award. Can't you get dressed for this one occasion? It didn't really make a lot of sense.